Well, good morning, everybody. Watched the news last night, and gun sales in Colorado have gone up 41%. Monday was the biggest gun selling day, I think, in the history of Colorado. Man, you go, guys. That's what I'm talking about. People are preparing, they're planning, they're changing the way they think. No more of this sitting around like a spoiled dog, letting the bad guy come in and rub our belly, get us on our back, and then do what he wants to us. Those days are over. They're coming to an end. This nation was founded on violence, and the only way to deal with violence is you've got to deal with it by giving out a little bit of force. I love Martin Luther King. I'm not pro-violence. You have to understand what I'm trying to get across to everybody here. I'm not pro-violence. What I am is pro-life, to stay alive. Stay alive. Stay alive. No matter what it takes, stay alive. People coming to your house with evil or bad intentions, take them out. Take them out, take them out, take them out. Set up some warnings, set up some lines of defense so that when they cross them, don't shoot everybody that walks into your house. You got to first prove that these clowns are there with evil intention, that they're there to do harm, that they're there to do something that is not humane. If that is all concluded, then take them out. Use force, use lethal force. Take these clowns out. They come there to hurt you, kill you, rape you, steal you, murder you. Take them out. You know, if that were to occur, see, the whole purpose behind the death penalty was to deter crime. I'm not going to argue the death penalty, because apparently we need more deterrent to crime. And I say this, I'm saying all this and posting all this on this website because out of respect for the dead victims of Columbine, of Aurora, of Virginia Tech, of all the victims of every insane mass killer that has gone out there off the deep end and killed people. It is with the utmost respect. I would never disrespect the memory of any of those victims killed by a horrific violent crime or a violent act, but I want people to know that we've got to change the way we think, and the first thing we must do is change the order of business in the way that we think about violent crimes. I love Martin Luther King. I'm not saying that we handle violence with violence. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that this is not about civil rights. This is about human rights. The right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The right to stay alive, raise your family. We cannot have a second Holocaust here in America. We cannot have that spirit of murder and mayhem and carnage and self-destruction move across our land like the dark shadow and the dark cloud that it is. Unless we do something ourselves as a nation, it's only going to get farther and farther. It only takes a match to start a forest fire. If we don't curb this thing now, can you only imagine a year from now, 5 years from now? We will have to declare martial law. 41% gun sales. I love that. I love that. That tells me that there's 41%. That increase of 41% is telling me that there are a lot of folks that have had enough. They've had enough of this nonsense. Next time one of those clowns opens up, boom, blow them to hell. Send them back. Send them to see Jesus and let Jesus decide what to do with them. But don't let them take out the big number. 59 people wounded. Oh, good God Almighty. I can't even fathom that. What that clown did, he didn't even have individual targets. That freaking coward pointed his gun at people that were fleeing and just started opening fire. One bullet was passing through 3, 4, 5 people. That's where the real damage was done. And he just kept on in a maniacal way, laughing and shooting. And then that clown dyes his hair red and sits in the courtroom and acts like he's stupid. Well, he is stupid. And when they strap him to that gurney, come on, Colorado, you got to be 1977 since you've committed the last execution. All right, buddies, come on. This one right here, if anybody's deserving of the death penalty, it's this nut Holmes. That clown should be, I don't know. I don't even want to sit there and go the route I'd take with him. I wouldn't kill him quick. But that's not me. That's probably why I'm not a legislator. All right, we've changed our mind. We know the bad guy's out there. We know that he's coming. We know that we're going to make preparations. I'm going to show you my house tonight when I get off work. I'm on my way to work, driving down this windy, twisty, turny road in the back hills of Georgia, pulling a trailer, dodging the deer. Every day you go out into the world is dangerous. You drive on interstates where people are texting, they're not paying attention. You drive on roads that are unkempt and potholed and ruts, and you drive on roads that deer cross and lunatics cross, and people don't have any kind of idea of how to pay attention, how to be responsible. And so it is in the minds of these lunatics. They've lost all sense of responsibility. They have no fear. One thing about a lunatic, about somebody who commits a mass killing, is they don't have any fear. First of all, they don't have any fear of human law, mankind law, any penalty, any retribution by going to prison, none of that. And they don't have any fear of God. That's why in the land that we live in, make this turn without tearing any bumpers off, in this wonderful, beautiful nation that we live in, people are crazy because they don't have any fear of God. There's no fear of God in the land. When you fear God, when you fear man, when you fear prison, you don't do stupid stuff. You don't do the insane shit that these guys do. But when there's no fear, hey, welcome to Six Flags. Have a good time. I understand about the pressures of life. I understand that when your economy's in the toilet, when you've been laid off, I understand. These aren't really the predators. These aren't really the people, the brand new predators that just came to town predators. These aren't the ones. Over here where the sun ain't blasting in this. These fellows aren't really the ones that I'm concerned about. The ones I'm concerned about are the ones that are being released from prison, the ones that have been behind the walls for 15, 20 years in a predator environment. They're going to be released into a free society without any clue of reentry, without any kind of help of reintroduction, because our prison systems are overwhelmed. We don't have time. We don't really have the time to. And after some fellow's been in prison for half of his adult life, how do you reintroduce them back into a free society? You don't. So they come out, they re-violate, and they're sent back in. The recidivism rate in America is incredible, like the revolving door in these prisons. But some of them get out, they don't follow the rules of the parole. They're not going to follow the rules. I know what I'm talking about. I'm an ex-con. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just talking out of my ass. These guys get out, and some of the most dangerous, ruthless people I've ever met, I didn't meet them outside in this free society. I met them behind the walls of some of the state penitentiaries and federal pens that I went through. And these guys were coming up for parole. They're coming up for release. They're not going to be in there forever. And the plans that they have are the same plans they had when they went back in. Me, I'm one of the fortunate ones because I did get rehabilitated. I saw the light when I went to prison. I had enough of prison. I'm not going back. The only thing that'll send me back to prison is if I murder somebody over having hurt my family, my child, my children, my family, my mother, my mother now. My mother, of course, passed away when I was locked up in the chain gang, couldn't even go to a funeral, but my mother-in-law has become my mother. Somebody puts their hands on her, it's over with. I'm going back to the chain gang. But other than that, I'm not going to re-violate. I'm not going to do something stupid to put me back in. But these guys are coming up for parole. They're going to be released. These are the ones that have their skills, have honed their skills. They're going to get out. They're not going to follow any kind of rules. And always remember that for every convict that's locked up, there's a 2 million population, 2 million man and woman population of criminals, of convicts in the prison systems in America. These guys get out. They're not going to get a job at McDonald's flipping hamburgers. They're not going to do that. They're going to get out and they're going to go on rampages, and they're going to go back to the ones that have probably put them in if they're still alive years ago. Because see, in every one of these hardened criminals' mind, there's a list. It's called a list. They have a list, whether it be a judge, a lawyer, a buddy that ratted on them. Somebody, there's a list in their mind of 4 to 7 people that, hey, they plan when they get out to deal out retribution to these guys, because these guys were responsible in their crooked way of thinking for having them locked up. So when they get out, that's what they're going to do. On top of all that in this nation of ours, on top of all that that's going on already, that's what else we need to be on guard for.